First, we will be creating a grid. So I'm just typing some task description here for training purpose. We will be inputting 2 descriptions for the task to give us a chance to write another small description after. We will have another parameter, which is the color of the background. I'm just going to do some basic formatting of the top. So the next thing I'll be doing, I'll be creating 3 rows here. One to input a counter. The second one, which will just be a buffer so we can format as we like. And the third one, we will be inputting the schedule and also the task description on the left-hand side. So here as an example, I'm just going to put example task 1, example 2, which is the second part of the description. So it has to be short. We are working with Excel, so we don't want long text here. And then as a color background, I'm just going to have just 2 to start with, which is light and dark. Next, I will be doing some more formatting, and I will be creating a grid. So I don't advise you to create a grid like this. I'm just doing it for training purpose once again. Because after it's a bit of a mess if you want to remove it. But I'm just creating the grid so that you can see it's a bit more visual. And then I'm duplicating each task. I'm just going to stop at 3 or 4 tasks, maybe 5 tasks. I'm just going to put some headings once again. So this is just to show you. You don't have to input this, but it's just to show you. I'm just going to alternate between one column that will be for the symbol that we'll use to create the start and end of our tasks, and then the text itself. So we'll be alternating symbol, text, symbol, text, symbol, text. And I can do some formatting on this. Obviously, the column for the symbol should be smaller than one for the text, but we can have a look at that later on. Next, I will be creating a different tab, and I will be putting all the validation under that tab. So the first validation that we want to do is to ensure that only the proper symbols are being entered, is the symbol that we'll be using for start, finish, or end, and then a blank. We can also leave a blank. So I have that as a dynamic table, because if you don't like S or E as a symbol to put the start and end, then you can have your other types of symbol. You just need to change them here. And then that will be done automatically. Then the next table that we input is the color, where I have light and bright here, but I think I should have more light and dark, so I'll be changing that later on. Once again, a little bit of formatting. And the third table that I'm creating is to put the year. So to start with, I have 2024, 2025, and 2026. I'll be starting only with 3 years at the moment, but we can have 5. So it's just a matter of making the table larger. And this way you can reuse it. You just have to change the years if you want to do it next year, or if you want to start from a different year, or you could start from the current year if you wanted. Now let's use the data validation table. So the first thing to do is to retrieve the 3 dates. Just before the Q1. Next, I will be validating the color itself. I just go to data validation. I have light or bright at the moment, which is hard to tell the difference, but I would have light or dark. I will change bright to dark later on. And I'll be doing the same for the symbol. So this is the symbol we'll be using for start and end of tasks, data validation. Allow list, and list I will put the 3. I'll put the 3. I need the blank as well, because if it's not a milestone, then start of a milestone, and otherwise it will complain when it's blank. So now this is done. So now what we need to do is we need to paste that field to make sure that the validation is across the board. So I'm doing it for 1 year, and then I copy it to the year later. But as a rule, what we do on these two fields on the left, the symbol and the text, can be just reproduced by copying and paste. So I don't want to spend too much time just every time just copying and paste for the full stuff, for the full years. It's just a matter as we understand, and if we know how to create the first 2 cells, then we are good to go. The second thing is the formula. So this is the only formula that I believe that there will be in this, aside the conditional formatting. So if the previous field is start, so that's the field that we have named at start, then we bring back the description. So if we have a start, then we bring back the description. I put this chart 10, and this is to go to the next line for the description 2. And then I will add the description to itself. So if there is something in a symbol that is start, then I will bring back everything. And we can test it straight away. I just need to add a condition for if there hasn't found anything. So that seems to work. If there's S, there's description. If there's N, there's no description. So the same, I just copying and paste that. Now we want to have a counter, and this is my second formula, so I was wrong. There is another formula after all. I want to have a counter that I will use to do my conditional formatting. So I create a if with an S. If there is a start in a field below, I will put 1. If there is end, I will put -1, and for the rest I will leave 0. And that will be, I will be using that for the conditional formatting to know if the task should be within that time frame. I'm noticing that when there is an S, there is a 1 above. And if I remove the S, now I'm just going straight into conditional formatting. And my conditional formatting will be if the cell is start, can put the name field here. I will put this color here. So this will be the bookends, if you like, of my tasks. Now that doesn't work. Why? That's so this is why it doesn't work, because we have sometimes we need to make sure that it's using the field name and not the hard code start. So you just have to play around. You just need to check there's no more quotes, then you're good to go. And now it works. Now I'm just going to be doing some more formatting, but this time it will be for the task description itself. Now I just have 2 conditions. The first condition is that the sum of the counter will be at 1. So that means there is a task that has started. I log the first E, but I don't log the second one. So this way that's going to add me all the fields that are in a counter row here. So if the sum of all these is 1, then I know that I have a task. The second condition is regarding the color. If I have a light color here, I will put a lighter type of blue. I often play around with colors towards the end, but to start with, I'm just going to start with 6699FF. That's a color that I thought would go well. But so what you need to do also is you need to make sure that the yellow fields are stop if true, otherwise it's going to color also the milestone. And then I will be duplicating, and the only thing I'll be changing is the color itself. I will fill it with a deeper blue this time. Now if I change this to dark, yes. So here I'm just testing that the AND is working, so it's busy working as well because the sum of all this is 0. So I am removing the locking that I had on the 9, and that will allow me to copy and paste this across the board. Otherwise, it would just always refer back to my line 9 where the counter is, but here that will carry it across and it will be looking at the counter there. For the moment, it's not showing the blue because I haven't copied the counter, but as soon as I copy it across, it should work. I will be just doing some formatting. I removed the description that I had for training purpose. I'm putting the counter row, I'm just putting into a data and then I group it. So this way I can access them when I want. I just this way I put them out of sight. I'll be inserting a text box that will give me the flexibility to have this year into a format of my choosing instead of relying on the cell without messing up the other cells. So what you need to do is you need to insert a text box, but make sure that you click on the border of the text box, and then you go into the formula field, and then you put the year here, so it will follow up the year that you have. Some formatting for that box. Going for my favorite font here, the bench script, semi-bold, semi-condensed. Going for a light blue for this. And I'm just going to put a little bit of reflection. So now I'm just selecting that box, format painter. Now this time I'm going to add the year here. A way to apply the background is to change the normal format of a cell. So you just right click, modify, and then you put the background that you want. And I've put a deep blue here. Now I have all the grids, and I have also the white. That's because I've changed the default value. But you won't have those grids because I've just done it just to show you. But when you build it, as I was mentioning at the beginning of this video, you don't put the grid. Then what I do is I want to have the milestone, the place where I put the start and end. I want it to have a not too much in your face, but just a bit of a lighter blue. So I'm just selecting the blue and I'm just putting just a little bit lighter. And then I will be formatting with the same blue. So this way it's there, but it's not too obvious. Now what I'm doing is I'm just adding a white border. I think that will really separate things. But for the S and E fields, I just want to have the same yellow color, orangey colors, but just for the start at the bottom, at the top, and on the left-hand side. And for the end, I'm just going to put it on the right, the bottom, and at the top. So this way, that's the two bookends that I have here. And now what I need to do is I need to put it on this one, on the blue ones, but I will only put it, just selecting the white first. But I will only put it at the top and at the bottom for those. And I just need to test it now. You can see this white. And I'm putting a different type of blue here. I don't really like the one I have. I'm just going to remove the outline of that text box. I'll just input a description here. Text box with a description. Choose a blue font, a deep blue font for the text, and I think I'm just going to keep the box white like this. I'm just creating a group as well for this task description, so we can remove them when they're not required. Just to present the final plan, the final strategy plan, we can just remove them and we are left with only the tasks there.